Hello and welcome everybody to today's episode of Prem de la Creme. It's a sad one, it's a happy one, depends where you're calling from. Obviously, the Brazil-Japan game has just got done. We had a game yesterday, and we're going to have games moving forward. That is life. There's non-stop football forever to find out who's the winner of football and who's the loser of football, and then who's the next winner and then who's the next loser. But anyway, for today, we're just going to focus on the World Cup. Last couple of games, what's going to happen. My Steam panel today, wow. Boogie now, guys, I have an Steam panel with me today. My favorite. I'm going to start with my favorite today, yeah? Let's go to the left. Let's go all the way to, I think it's somewhere in South Africa. Official Ozzy Ahmed. How are you doing, my friend?
Bro, a bit depressed after last night's game, but this Brazil game gave me a bit of happiness.
I mean, Mac, introduce yourself to the people, because today was an Arsenal day.
Yeah, happy days in terms of player profiling, but from yesterday's results, the heart is still gutted and dented, so hopefully it will come back up again.
For sure, bro. And maybe somebody who's a little bit less sad, but sad for different reasons. My handsome friend, Citizen Mo, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. I wasn't happy seeing Gabriel assist. I wasn't happy seeing the other Gabriel score. I wasn't happy not seeing Neymar, so I'm just not happy overall. But I'm happy to be here.
Bro, definitely celebrated when Vinny got that chance got saved. He almost celebrated that like
literally,
a goal.
bro. I celebrated like City scored. Honestly, celebrating so much.
The winner of Manchester Derby or Vinicius missing in the World Cup. So hard. But yeah, as I said, we will start with that game. Brazil versus Japan obviously just got done. Brazil run out winners 2-1. It didn't look easy for the whole of the game. It didn't look easy for most of the game, apart from like maybe a 30-minute period in the second half. And there was one man who changed the game. I love him. I know him. You love him. You know him. Bruno Guimaraes. Take a bow, my son. That's 4 assists in this World Cup. Changed the game against Haiti. Changed the game against Scotland. Wouldn't you know it? He changed the game against Japan as well. That connection with Vinny, that connection with Gabriel Martinelli was absolutely delicious. There's only one place to start. There's only one man we want to hear from. Because Neymar didn't start, Max Said. Arsenal 2, Japan 1. How did you find this game, my friend?
I think Japan played a good game, but ultimately it ran them to the ground. And I haven't been the biggest fan of Ancelotti, but his tweak of putting Martinelli in that 9.5 again. We've seen it again from another manager, playing a player in the 9.5 position, in between the lines, in that pocket, proved dividends, and Brazil ultimately got their goal. It was been, like you said, Guimaraes turning it through to him. Poor defending from the Japanese. They'll be gutted for the fashion they conceded that goal, because we know that feeling. Conceding the 90th minute is a real dagger. So, yeah, harsh on the Japanese, but brilliant if you're a Brazilian or an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, it's got to be a dagger, man. Honestly, that's worse. Obviously, we'll get on to South Africa 92nd minute, but 95th minute. After the way they performed in that first half, my word, that performance was so good. I mean, Ozzy, what impressed you most about Japan? We can't hear you, bro. I think you're muted.
Sorry, my bad. I said throughout the group stages, they were impressive. Even coming into this game, that first half, I thought low-key, I thought they could have done a madness. They could have caused a huge upset. But alas, their fairy tale ends again.
That's 0 knockout wins for Japan now. Obviously, they were in the lead against Belgium in 2018. Lost that. They were in the lead in 2022 against Croatia, I believe. Lost that. 2026, the exact same thing happens again. I mean, Mo, you're the bottle genius. Who's a bigger bottler? Arsenal Football Club or Japan?
Arteta, man. Mikel Arteta has to. He's the originator of the bottle. You can't take that title away from him. But I think no, serious note, but like Japan, I don't think they bottled it they more so they like put up a fight that we didn't really expect. Like I didn't think they'd make the first half look as even as they did. If I'm being honest, I thought it would be a lot more in Brazil's favor, but they had a few chances. I just don't think they had the. I don't know what to call it. Like I'm not gonna say the technicality. I'm just gonna call it the end product in the final third, because some of these players, man, they get in some positions where they're like, you should have just crossed, or you should have just passed the ball here, and they just take a shot, or they cross when they should have taken a shot. Like all the wrong decisions in the final third. So I don't understand what they were doing there. Even in the second half, they had a few chances where they could have potentially crossed, and they didn't. So it was an expected result, and they just couldn't hold out. The one person I did feel bad for though was what's his name, Suzuki, the goalkeeper. That guy put a shift in today. The guy put a massive shift in today, and I feel bad that he had to concede those 2 goals in the very end.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, exactly to your point, right? Casemiro gets a shot saved off the line. They go up the other end of the pitch, and I don't know the name of the player. Kamada's coming straight in, put it in his path. It's a goal, and you make it 2-0, and you basically booked your ticket into the next round. And even if Brazil came back, Mo, your prediction would have been correct. But no, they don't do that. It stays 1-0 and they keep Brazil in the game. And Casemiro goes up the other end 2 minutes later and scores that goal. I mean, that redemption arc from Casemiro, though. Well, I don't know about in where you lot live, right? But halftime, basically 14 minutes of the whole 50-minute analysis was Casemiro needs to come off. Hook Casemiro. Casemiro looks too old. Casemiro's got no leg. Casemiro got a yellow card. Well, I mean, what a comeback from him, to be honest.
An Ancelotti special. Like it's always the thing that you expect the least from Ancelotti. He's gonna do it, man. He's gonna keep Casemiro, who's had an abysmal first half, on and with a yellow card, and that guy's gonna score. He's gonna sub on Martinelli and not put him on the left and the right. He's gonna put him in the middle, and he's gonna score. So this is an Ancelotti special. I'm sure he raised an eyebrow at some point through the game.
I'm sure this is his bread and butter. Knockout competitions. When it ultimately counts, that's when he's going to deliver. Group stages, you're not going to see the best. League competitions, you're not going to see the best of him. But knockout competitions, when you have to do it, when something is on the line, Ancelotti is going to pull through. So, yeah, fair play to him. Fair play to Brazil. They did it. I even said it about Japan in the past. They've beaten many top nations before, but every time they cross that finish line of knockout stages, they fumble the bag. And it's harsh to say they fumbled it this time, but to a degree, I still say they did in terms of the defending, because they could have prevented that Martinelli goal. Suzuki was close. I can't argue or give him blame for it, but the defenders should be more alert, I felt. So unlucky Japan. Well done, Brazil.
There's one player I cannot ever give props to, but I just kind of have to, because what a cross from Gabriel, man. How is the centre back doing? What's Gabriel doing? I didn't know he had that in his locker, but it shocked me. Genuinely shocked me on the cross.
Yeah. I mean, Ozzy, to be honest, I'm waiting for you to kind of talk about Vinicius Junior. I think that's what
Bro,
everyone in the chat is waiting for.
Junior is that. If he scored that goal, bro, it could have been contender for goal of the tournament. Honestly, the way he drifts past everyone, and like we were talking just before this, outside of the boot, bro, the keeper gets the tiniest of touches to put it onto the post, man. I was already celebrating, and then you just see nicks the post and comes back out. I was like, no, what the hell, man. So unfortunate, bro. So unfortunate, man.
Honestly, that would have been one of the best World Cup goals, like definitely in modern history, man. Like the little nutmeg, and then the outside the boot, like mid run, he didn't even stop stride to do it. It was like almost a touch. It was almost a touch, like mid stride. He goes ching and a save, man. I mean, that would have made it 2-1. I think it would have gone 3-1, 4-1, 5-1 after that point. So Suzuki did keep them in the game. I think. Yeah, the corner flag says Suzuki did so well, even the motor company went up in stocks. So yeah, I mean, if that's true, fair play, man. Fair play. He has a big impact. But yeah, first it was like chalk and cheese, bro. First half they were so bad. Brazil were just like slow. They couldn't penetrate. And I just thought, take off Casemiro, bring on Fabinho, bring on Neymar, change the game. And for Don Carlo to remove Paqueta, who I thought was like all right in the first half, was interesting, and keep Casemiro. But yeah, they get the job done and they move on.
Yeah. Well, I think Japan retired.
Someone said Suzuki's 23. That's
23.
crazy. He doesn't look 23, man.
I think he plays for Parma, even, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he could get signed up after this tournament.
Yeah.
Definitely some World Cup tax involved in that. But yeah, no, he performed well. Yeah. To be honest, they defended too deep. And hence why he couldn't come off his line. But when he did come off his line, he was all right. But yeah, Cunha as well. Cunha was basically non-existent. There was a lot of players that performed poorly, and they still somehow got the job done. But yeah. Does anybody else have anything else to say on Brazil versus Japan?
I think we've covered everything with regards to both teams, but the credit has to be given to Ancelotti. I think Brazil, they came back in the second half, but if he didn't make the specific changes in the halftime talk, substitutes, that was the real impact. They wouldn't have gotten over the line. So massive credit goes to him.
Yeah, and it leads them on to a very tough game against either Ivory Coast or Norway. That will be Brazil, Norway, Brazil, Ivory Coast. That will be a tough test, man. Like, even though their side of the bracket's a little bit easier, the route that they've got is probably the most difficult on that side, you know? Because after this, they will most likely play Ecuador or England. Most likely England, right? I don't want to jinx it too much, but yeah, we will see on that. But yeah, unfortunately, let's talk about yesterday. South Africa versus Canada. They open up the round of 32. And to be honest, I think this was two B-tier teams playing at their absolute best, right? For the first half, amazing game. Set pieces, Canada were kind of destroying South Africa, but they kept them at bay, right? One was a poor header from Cornelius. The other one was a good save from Ronald Williams and a great save off the line by Modiba. Yeah. And Mbakazi, I mean, bro, he announced himself to the world that game. And then the second half, they did well, didn't create much, but Alfonso freaking Davies changed the game. And unfortunately, in the 92nd minute, I don't know what his name is. I can't even pronounce his name, but he shot from the outside of the box. This random dude from Canada puts in the back of the net in the 92nd minute. And South Africa, unfortunately, are knocked out in their first knockout game in the round of 32. Mac, I know you were very emotional last night, and I'm sure it's still raw. But talk to me, man.
It is.
What do you think of this game,
bro? I said earlier was a dagger, bro. This being born in South Africa, living through the toughest of times, coming onto the biggest stage, supporting them even from that first game in Mexico when everyone gave up on South Africa. I was still one. Uzi was still, Nawaz was still one of those that backed the lads going into every game. And I did say we're going to beat South Korea. I was on it. We got through to the next round, and I was like, we're going to beat this Canadian team. They're not the best. They're good attacking-wise, but defensively, they were slow, sluggish. We could have got at them. But I think Canada played brilliant in terms of they nullified the way we played. Jesse Marsh spoke brilliantly about it in terms of they saw how we played against South Korea. Like every time on the pod, I repeatedly said, invite the press, flip it over the top. And that's what Canada did. They didn't press Ronald Williams at all. So much so, there's a stat where Ronald Williams is now, I think he has a World Cup record where he beats Norway. He got the most passes in a knockout stage match. Imagine how crazy that is. Because the ball was just
77 passes or something like that, yeah.
Yeah. At any given time, the ball was at his feet. And we broke through them a few times, but that clinical edge from our attackers was missing. That's the biggest one. Even there was one where I recall with Maseko, he cut in and Mudau came on an overlap. All he needed to do was play the guy in, Mudau hits it across, we get a goal. But we overdid it. They tackled us, and ultimately it caused the for us. But you know that goal we conceded, it was Gustavo that scored that goal. That dagger. People are blaming Ocon for that goal. Ocon had a brilliant game. Another centre-back that was next to Mbakazi. He had a brilliant game. But I think no one is actually going to call him out. Mokoena was at fault for that goal.
Yeah,
He
I
was.
said
I
the
don't know if
same
you
thing
saw it
last
back.
night. I said the same thing last
Yeah,
night. He was caught sleeping there. He was tired from the 70th minute. He should have gotten hooked.
yeah. If he checked that and came back, it would be still no. But those are the consequences you pay for on the biggest stages. You don't do your job at the highest level, you're gonna pay the price. And we saw that, and that's what happened yesterday. I have a shout about the referee, but the game is done. There's no point going in about the referee anymore. So leave it in the past.
Was he?
Bro, honestly, it is heartbreaking. When Apollos hit that one shot, they just went wide, bro. I thought
Just
that's the
face the
dream,
post,
bro.
bro.
I thought that was the dream. That was going top burns. South Africa going through to the round of 16. Even when that brother scored for Canada, I didn't want to believe it. I'm looking for something to cancel out the goal, but there was nothing, bro. Absolutely nothing. That's. mm, But other than that, bro, I'm very impressed with all all the boys, bro. They all played really well. The only person that didn't have a good game was Depsa, unfortunately. He was the only one that I can say in
Yeah,
that whole team that didn't have a good game.
yeah. I know we bowed out of the tournament, but I
Mm,
feel the boys, Hugo, Bruce, every South African fan should be proud. It's been
yeah.
a long time since we got onto one of the biggest stages, and it's been a build up and it's been a process, and we finally got here, and we proved a lot of people wrong. So they should be proud of themselves. Only now, the biggest challenge for us is going to be how we kick on from this. With the new coach, maybe we're getting new players in. We need to set realistic goals going forward,
Mm,
starting from next year's AFCON.
yeah. Keaton McKenzie, bro. You need to invest properly into this football team. You need to invest properly into Bafana. It all starts
Oh,
with Gaten McKenzie, bro. It all starts with our Minister of Football.
you know, when he's mentioning about investment again, I'm coaching this girl now that's 14 that plays for Saudi under 20. The investment put in Saudi players, imagine they play home and away matches and they travel by planes across the country to play matches when you're 14 years of age. Where do you get that? 14 years of age. Then they having summer camps and winter camps in different countries when you're playing under 15, 17, under 20, under 23 in a whole different country to go and prepare for a tournament. Our own Bafana team didn't even get that opportunity to do something like that. Looking at the levels, bro, we shouldn't be in this position. Like we actually are a good footballing nation, but we are starving ourselves from success. If investment is put in the right places, then definitely we can go on and achieve something. That shows from Senegal, Morocco, even Egypt, bro. Look at Egypt. They play with literally majority of their team are from the Egyptian league also. But what's their excuse compared to us? Do you know what I'm saying? And Mo can back me up on that. So that's why if we have the proper investments, I think that's the only way we're gonna kick on. But these boys should be proud of themselves.
Yeah, he definitely overachieved, man. Like in the grand scheme of things, definitely overachieved. And even to get to this point, man, was solid. It was a group where you could have got out of, and you proved that you could.
Yeah.
And I think a lot has to be said for like you can get out of a group, you can do something, and then actually doing it, right? Because people would then be like,
Yeah.
oh well, you got out of the group. Okay, now what's next? And they get clouded by the next thing. But almost what they did achieve was unbelievable, man. They pushed Canada, who obviously are not like a perennial knockout team, but they pushed Canada in their own backyard, right, to 93 minutes. They really did, right? And it was just quality, man. Because Alphonso Davies, I know Nawaz disagrees with me on this. He came on the live yesterday and said the exact same thing. For me, Alphonso Davies changed that game, not because he made the pass to score the goal, but it's just his injection of quality meant that they played better.
Yeah.
That first pass where he played it across to Promise David, I think, or like that first one he hit across,
Yeah, I
and like
remember.
the little roulette that he did, you could just tell quality's been added to the pitch. you know. And if
Yeah,
South
you
Africa
could say
had that, maybe it's different, right? But South Africa didn't have that. Obviously, Mofokeng went off at halftime. Apollos tried to drag his team forward, but you could tell he's not that great, right? Like, he's good, but he's not that great. He can't carry your team forward. One thing I would say, man, is that striker situation needs to change, bro. Because it was countless times. I think I can remember 2-3 times they've collected the ball. What do we say about Chris Wood? Chris Wood, amazing player this tournament. He's taken the ball down, bringing other people into play. That I don't know the name of your striker, but he took the ball. Makopa. He gets the ball, he brings it down, and he goes the other way. Like, there's loads of space on this side, but he goes this side twice. What did I say about Moises Caicedo? He turns the pitch, makes it bigger, right? Instead of like shortening the pitch, he makes the pitch way bigger, right? If Makopa did that twice, right, one of those created into a chance, who knows, that could have been a goal. Right, but this obviously comes down to the investment, the time, whatever, and obviously having quality players. But yeah, man, you'll be back.
But to talk about that point, this is why I think Foster would have been instrumental for us in this game. I know he had a shit game in the first one, but he's used to playing on the biggest stage in the Premier League. You can't tell me he plays on the biggest stage, he has one shit game, you can leave him out for the rest of the tournament. How is that even possible? I'm not in training to watch Hugo Bruce and see what
he does. Fuck all, bro.
But
in the Premier League, let's be real, man. Like, he actually does fuck all in the Premier League.
Bro, you telling me Makopa, who doesn't play in the PSL even on a regular basis, must start continuously? Bro, if it's not working with him, just give Foster. Then we bring Reynolds on, which everyone is raving about. He is doing well in the PSL, but every ball that touched him is like I was watching.
It was like a trampoline, bro.
Like a ping ball, bro. Ball is hitting him, going there, hitting him, going there, hitting him, going there. He couldn't hold the ball up. So if it's not working with him, why don't you just go with Foster? He can't get worse than that. Give him a go. He can probably get a goal from anywhere. He's done it before. At AFCON, he showed it. He showed it at the AFCON. He can do it. But they needed to believe more in themselves. I think Bruce let himself this tournament a bit down. I don't think he believed in himself and how good. I'm not saying the team is that good, but they're at a reasonable status where they can play. That's what I'm trying to say. But Bruce should have believed a bit more in himself and the team. But I think we were a bit defensive. I don't know if you'll agree with me or not.
I think that's fair. But that's how you lived with them. That is how you live with them. But I guess if they were 10 yards further forward, the big thing was like there was nothing in the final third. Maybe if they're 10 yards further forward, then they can create something. Because to be honest, they did create a little bit in the first half. They did create way more in the first half than they did in the second half. And you can tell their line was much higher. But when Mbakazi and Ocon had to drop deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, exactly what happened to Japan today, you let it happen. Yeah. And then when they brought quality off the bench, khalas, bro, game's done. It's just unfortunate that it was done in normal time. If they got the goal in extra time, who knows what would have happened. But yeah, man, heartbreaking stuff.
Because that last two minutes of the game, bro, we were literally putting so much pressure on. Why couldn't we do that before we conceded?
Because it was on Canada they're holding a lead, bro. They're not going to attack. Whereas then Canada were looking for goals at the same time. So now we had the space to go. But fair play to Sitole. I think from a South African's perspective, he was the best player on the field.
Nah, he was, bro.
He actually did his thing.
He was mopping up everything. He really was mopping up everything.
I saw a lot of South Africans giving him stick again for calling him, why is he only playing back to the keeper? If he had to turn again with 3-man back and he lost the ball, imagine how many of them will be shitting on him again.
Yeah.
So South Africans, you always need to think and wake up because they're being hurtful now.
Well, on a side note, Abdi says Mbakazi MVP. He was brilliant yesterday. He obviously plays for Chicago Fire, Mac, right? Does he get himself a Premier League move off the back of this performance?
I think so. But the thing is, which Premier League club does he go to? I would personally love him to not touch any of the top 6 clubs in the Premier League. Not even like the top 8. Maybe middle tier. Because we need to see not an improvement, but like a gradual growth of a player. If you put him like in a Chelsea, okay, we know what would happen there. He would sit bench and they'll ruin his career. Come to Arsenal, probably the same thing. Arteta would probably make him a left back or something like that. City, you'll probably see the same thing. United, maybe there's a chance for him at United. But the perfect would be like Forest, Bournemouth, Everton, maybe
Yeah.
even a Villa. But you know what I'm saying? He needs to get into that type of team before he pushes on. I would love
You
to
don't
see
think
that.
Do you not think he'd be a good like Gavardiol or Ake sort of like regen?
Bro, I think he can play. The sky's the limit for him. I think he's one of the best at this point in time. I know I'm talking from a raw basis, but bro,
I feel like
he's
Bournemouth
that good.
could do really well with him by the way. With Livingston, that's what I think they could do with Bukazi. You know?
Yeah, they could as a replacement even for Senesi.
Yeah.
So I really wish he had a chance on the edge of the box somewhere yesterday. I really wish he could have taken a pop at that keeper because we didn't test that keeper at all. If Mbakazi could have had sight of goal, bro, that left foot.
No, but hey, not only Ambakazi, Ocon. I think he's gonna get a move to one of the Bundesliga teams. He currently plays for what you call it, Hanover in Bundesliga 2. They just missed out by promotion by this much, and he was superb last season this season in the league, and he had a brilliant World Cup. So I see a Bundesliga team snapping him up soon as well.
How old is Budao, by the way? Is he like in his 30s?
Budao is 30, bro. He's sail as he's what ship has sailed in terms of getting a
Yeah.
move. But he was good also. He was good.
No, yeah, bro. How he skinned two Canadian players and he gets fouled.
Yeah. Even the one where he gave those 2 nutmegs. That's for Goldbridge. Where's Mark Goldbridge? I hope you enter our chat now asking who's that number 20 player. He's not a professional. That's our bowler, bro.
That's Gary Neville's boy coming out. But yeah.
Gary Neville can come soon. It's all right. We'll pay him out.
South Africa, man. I think you can leave with your head held high, but yeah. Tough, man. Is there anything else before we close out here that you guys want to touch upon in terms of South Africa? Even Mo as well. Obviously, I invite you to say what you want to say.
I mean, I was very impressed with him because that was all I was going to say to begin with. I feel like you guys dived very deep into the game. So yeah, I was disappointed in the result as well. I'm supporting them. Yeah, I'm lucky.
I mean, other than this needs to be our foundation, and that there needs to be good investment put into South African football by the Minister of Sports and Culture. Other than that, bro, there's nothing else I think I have to say. Because without investing in this project now, we have players like TLB, Mofo King, all these like good young players, bro. We need to invest in it. We have generational talent on our ends.
Let's not forget, we got other youngsters also in Europe that are kicking on. We got a
Yeah,
centre
like
back play for
Chandre,
QPR.
bro. Chandre Campbell, at Club Rouge.
Well, yeah. That's that. Hopefully that's not that for South Africa. Hopefully they're back and they get some European players because with quality, they could have gone far in this tournament. But alas, they were not able to do it. But from one African team to the heart of Africa at this moment in time, let's go on to some previews. And we'll do 2 previews today. I think we'll skip over the Germany one because there's not really much to say here. But let's move over to the champions of Africa. Netherlands versus Morocco. Morocco versus Morocco B. Netherlands versus Netherlands B. Who knows, right? But yeah, that game is starting tonight at 2 a.m. UK time, 3 a.m. CAT time, 4 a.m. Kuwait time. Will I be awake for this game? Hell no, right? Because I've got a sty. But for those who are watching, I hope you guys enjoy it. Yeah, just like Mac. But this game proves to be one of the most interesting games of the tournament so far. Mo, I want to start off with you, man. Leading into this game, what are your thoughts? What are your pre-match ideas on this?
I'm saying it's not as close as people think quality-wise. I think a lot of people will say Netherlands is going into this game with the better squad, with the better names, and the better quality, even in midfield. But like as we said earlier, like I feel like they've been scoring a lot of scrappy goals. So it hasn't really been convincing to me, at least. Sweden game's the one outlier. But with Morocco, even on a bad day, they look good. Like you can't have a day off with Morocco. I just feel like they have the better style of football, the better tactical play, I guess. So I think Morocco is going to dominate this game. I don't think like they're going to dominate it score wise, but I think they're going to hold ball. I think they're going to create more dangerous chances. I think they're going to have the better look overall. I'm thinking Morocco is going to beat Netherlands.
Yeah, I also agree, to be honest. But yeah, I think they're the better side. By the way, Mo, put in your other AirPod in because I think your audio is getting like a little bit sounds a bit muffly because I think your mic might be in the other pod. Like
No,
the little
I don't even
other.
have my. I don't even have my other plus lost.
I don't know why your audio sounds a bit mad.
Is it still muffled?
If it's just on my side. Yeah, it sounds like it's almost like your AirPods.
Yeah,
on the
like
table,
you're far away from it. Yeah.
Okay, wait, let me try and fix it.
But yeah, no, I agree. I mean, Mac, obviously you're going to stay up to watch it. You unemployed bum. So, what do you think?
For now. I will always back
First day at work,
my
by the way,
African
guys.
boys.
First day back at work. Just say, I'm not being an old man.
I always back my African brothers, but for some reason, I feel like Netherlands is gonna beat them. I'm just agreeing with you, boys. I'm just getting that inkling, like Netherlands somehow is gonna nick it. It's gonna be a very, very close game. Like Morocco is gonna turn up, Netherlands is gonna turn up. Wow, bro, I want Morocco to win, but I think Netherlands are gonna edge it 2-1. It's gonna be very close. Budadi though, we need to watch out for him. He has been a revelation.
Mm.
Did you say
in that six
Punani?
for Morocco? Wadi.
Oh, bloody! I think you said Punani. I was like, what the fuck? It's not that type of show, mate.
Yeah. What is this guy on? Wadi. They have Al Khanous, Prime Diaz. Bro, one thing though, if they get a penalty and they got Prime Diaz on it, so the amount of pressure that's gonna be on that.
Oh yeah, true.
So we'll be looking out for that. But hopefully Morocco can win. But I think Netherlands will kill it out.
Why? Why will Netherlands beat Morocco?
I feel like Koeman has been smart this tournament in the way he's played. Like, I think we talked about this before. Managers take everything into account, but in terms of maneuvering, like these hydration breaks, even, I think he's had the edge of most managers because ultimately, before hydration breaks, after hydration breaks, based on stats and even seeing what they're doing, they're always the team on top. That's what I'm going with. Especially when you have the edge on something like that in a new and something like new that was introduced into the game. I feel like a team that will always have an edge. So I think they can do it, but I don't want them to.
Ozzy?
I think you're muted.
Yeah, I think Morocco will just edge it for me. But I see what you say, Mac. I can't lie. It could go either way, but I feel Morocco will just have that little bit extra with the way Saibari is playing, bro. He's literally eating everything that this Moroccan team is giving him.
I understand what Uzi is saying about Saibari, okay? But remember, they got Van Dijk and they got Van Hector. These are two tall individuals. And they are smart players. It's not like I know Van Dijk now and then sticks his bum out. That's something. But bro, they're not gonna let this guy Saibari run through easily. Like what happened with Brazil. I know Brazil also have top defenders, but they're gonna be more switched on, they're gonna be alert. Even if you give balls over the top, these guys are going to win every header. Saibari is much shorter than both these guys. So I feel they'll be more on it.
I think the midfield battle is going to be key here. I know you said Puardi. Puardi is gonna be pivotal in this game. I agree with you. I do agree with you. I've got Morocco going all the way to the final. I'll keep it completely ecstatic with you, bro. I've got them going all the way to the final, so I would not be. It would be poor if I said they weren't going to beat Netherlands. I think Netherlands will be a tough opponent. I think it's going to be probably one of the games of the round. It could really go either way. The reasons I go for Morocco, 2 reasons: tournament experience, right? Final of AFCON, won it in a Fugazi way, right? But they lost it on the day. Semi-finals of the World Cup 2022, and then another good performance in the World Cup in the AFCON, right? They've had a couple good AFCON. Basically, they have that tournament experience. This Netherlands team hasn't, right? They got to the semi-finals of the Euros. They got to the quarterfinals of the World Cup, which on paper is good, right? But as soon as they came up against any opposition, which was half decent, like England in 2024, terrible. Right, they didn't create anything. They couldn't score. They scored 1 goal right at the very start, and I just don't think that they have it in that locker. Against Japan, they couldn't get over the line. Against Sweden, impressed me. Against Tunisia, a bit slower. Brian Brobby is obviously a great player. I think he'll be good, and I think their defense is strong. I think Morocco have too much for a man. Like, they've proven they can come back in games, and I think that this is not where their tournament ends. This is when Netherlands' tournament ends. And I personally, and you guys can all go around and say your scoreline, I personally am going to say that Morocco win by 3 goals to 2.
Hamza, I know you touched on this, but like, I don't know if you guys have noticed in general, like when Morocco play, that first half they play is absolutely brilliant. Like they start off on a house on fire, but as they get into the second half, they just fade away. I know they hold into a low block, hoping to keep the result in place. But this is a knockout match. I don't know if they're going to be able to keep that intensity the exact same. So that's why I feel Netherlands will edge it. Because it will be very tight in that first half, even at the start of the second half. But as it goes towards the end, I feel Netherlands will get that second goal. So I think I'm going to go 2-1 to the Netherlands.
No.
I'm going with I'm actually agreeing with you as well. I think it's going to be a 2-1, but I think they go to extra time because I think that they start off strong as you said, and then in that second half they put a low block and they go to extra time. But the quality they have up front is just too techie. Like I don't see the Mr. Van Disney with his bum defending, stopping what's his name, Saibari right now in his like top form of it. I don't know. I don't feel confident in the Netherlands at all. I'm just gonna go with a 2-1 to Morocco. Can you guys hear me properly, by the way?
Yeah, we can.
Is it
We
fixed?
can, but your audio's like, it's a little bit muffled. I'm just thinking of the clips, bro. I'm thinking of the clips that if the audio's going to come
Yeah.
out that well. But yes, we can hear you. Yeah, hopefully it's all right in post.
Okay.
Ozzy?
Oh, I'm thinking it's 1-0 Morocco in normal time. I think like Max said, they start out really well, and then they go into that low block. So I think they'll score early on and then just try to absorb as much as possible. Am I lagging?
Yeah, you were.
Big time.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were finished. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, irrespective, bro, I think it's going to be a close game. I hope it's a good game, especially for Mac if he's staying up till, 5 a.m. cat, or maybe potentially even 6 a.m. cat, bro. That's long. But I hope you enjoy it, my friend. And then the other game tomorrow, the game that will be just before we go live again. Ivory Coast versus Norway. Now this, wow. Talk about South Africa, Canada being a B tier game in terms of B versus B game. This is an A versus A game. Ivory Coast, Norway, man. Mac, I know you're a big fan of some players on the Ivory Coast team and also on the Norwegian team, I'm sure. But where do you see this game going?
Another close encounter. Another midfielder from an African country we have to watch out for is Inawi. I don't know if you guys can pronounce it. Inawi.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's West African. Yeah, I forgot about that.
That guy's another. He's not even the tallest of guys in the midfield, but he can do a job. Then they got Yan Diomande. Everyone's been raving about him. I still feel that he still needs to do a lot more in the World Cup from what we've seen in the league. He's been superb this season in the league, but in terms of the World Cup, we saw the first game. He did very well. But after that, he's been doing Madueke move the whole way, running the ball out, kicking the ball out. That in Hamza's words, fugazi stuff. So I'm hoping to see Diamande play better. We know they got Ahmed Diallo, this guy's boy over here. But I think Haaland is gonna blow the water here. Haaland's gonna score like 3. He's gonna give it to Ivory Coast when I don't think they're gonna expect it, but he's gonna knock them early and hard, bro. And that's gonna kill them. And I feel sorry to say that for my African brothers. But the guy is a robot. We saw how they missed him against France. He didn't even get a single minute on the field. Well, imagine a well-rested early Haaland. Didn't play one game. All he knows is score goals, bro. That's the one thing I'm just scared for them about.
Yeah, could be a good game. Could be a hard game for Usman Diamande and co. Mo, and obviously Mac is hyped up Haaland. Do you want to continue up the hype, or do you want to go, you know what? Yan Diamande, you're good at choosing football teams, and you're also good at football. And that's why...
That's why Haaland's scoring a hat-trick, man. Come on. I'm backing my boy. There ain't no way I'm going against it. The one thing I'll say, though, is Diamande and Ahmad could cause major problems to the Norwegian defense because they've not convinced me at all. I know they faced like tough opposition so far. They faced Senegal, they faced France. What's the last team they faced? Was it
Iraq.
Okay, yeah, that doesn't count. So they faced France and they faced they faced
So
the other one.
disrespectful.
So I haven't been convinced. And I think they're going to concede, but how many? That's the question. It depends on how clinical the attackers are in Ivory Coast that day. Because if they manage to hit their chances that they will get, they could score 3 or 4. Genuinely, that's how bad I think their defense is. But will it happen? I don't think they take their chances. As you said, Diamante's only had his first game where he actually wowed everyone. But other than that, he's been fine. Like he hasn't really kept up to the standards that people hold his name to. Definitely not 100 million type of player performance. Okay, never mind that. But anyway,
No,
Wait till the one.
yeah. So I think Haaland scores a hat trick. Maybe a brace and someone else scores, but they're scoring 3 definitely. I'm going with a 3-2 to Norway.
Wow. That is big. That is big. Even though they level on points with Germany, and they held Germany for a long period of time, all thanks to this guy as well. And I'm sure, actually, you know what? I'll let Ozzy talk about him. Ozzy, what do you think?
Bro, I think the Ivory Coast will give them a good game, honestly. The physical presence of the West African teams, bro. I think they'll give them a good game. Because their centre backs are also no pushover. They're all big dons. I think Norway would win, but it won't be easy. So in my heart, I'd want Ivory Coast to go through, mainly because of my boy Ahmad Diallo. But if Norway were to win, I think it would be like 3-1, but the scoreline won't be a reflection of the game. But if Ivory Coast can show some magic from Diamande or Ahmad Diallo, they could easily nick it like 2-1, like in maybe even go into extra time and win it. Because that midfield also, like Frank Kessie and I don't know who's the other dons in the midfield, bro. They're all physical beasts, man.
Sangare.
Yeah, Sangare, all physical beasts, bro.
And Inawi.
Yeah.
You guys not feel that Ivory Coast have like a stage in every tournament where they just crumble under the pressure? Like I feel like
I think this is the one.
let me just this off. Like, I feel like in AFCON we faced them and it felt like we were gonna face like a Senegal or Morocco. And that wasn't the team that showed up on the day when it mattered the most. Like was it the quarterfinals? So I haven't seen them in a knockout stage where pretty much convinced me that they can compete. But that being said, what was the AFCON before that? Who won that AFCON?
Yeah, Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast won
Was
it
it
on their
was it
own
them?
turf,
On home grounds. That's when they
Yeah,
sacked their manager
Sebastian.
during the tournament
and they
and still
won
won
it.
it.
Sebastian Halle came back from what? He beat cancer and came and won the tournament.
Yeah, but ever since they haven't convinced me in that sense.
A player we actually didn't mention is Pepe.
Yeah,
Pepe
Nicolas
could cause
Pepe.
problems.
That's
back,
who I
bro.
wanted Ozzy to talk about. That is literally who I wanted Ozzy to talk about.
Oh
But
yeah,
Pepe will cause massive problems to them. Go on, Ozzy, go on.
No, bro, Hamza and I were speaking about it the other day about how Nicolas Pepe came on and he changed the game for them. So does he start though? Is the question.
Yes.
Or does he come off for a cameo again?
He has
Nah,
to start.
he was good against Curacao as well, you know. It's
Hmm.
bro, he called a celebration in the tournament. Actually, real talk, man. Mo, what's a called a celebration, right? Nicolas Pepe celebration, which is like that, right? Or Haaland's head in and then just walk off with a smile.
It's always going to be Haaland, this nonchalant walk off, man. Cool. He can score the best goal in the entire world. He can score a scorpion kick, and then this guy just shrugs it off and just like it's nothing. Don't tell me that's not cool. Go on.
And also because he's like 6'4" and people are jumping on him as well. It's like he's
Yeah,
like the aura
and he
king.
does-
People are
and
just
he
trying to get his
doesn't-
aura off him.
Yeah, I was gonna say he doesn't fall, but he falls every time. But he looks cool doing it. Oh. He looks cool doing it.
No,
What's
he
the
has
other
to start.
celebration, by the way? What's I didn't get it. What the,
And Nicolas Pepe's is
it
this. He runs up to the camera and he goes. But I did a bit autistically. I did a
Nah,
bit
bro, it's
autistically.
cold.
When he does it,
It's cold in real time, bro. It's so
Okay.
cold
Yeah.
in real time. Honestly.
Let me research this while you guys.
Yeah, you'll be like, what the hell is that to do, bro? But I think I'm surprised you guys are so down on Ivory Coast. I thought you guys would be a bit upper. I feel like Ivory Coast will cause problems for Norway. And also the fact that Norway dropped their players for the game against France will be so interesting to see how that's affected them. If it hasn't, brilliant. If it has, wow, that's such a big problem that they've just created for themselves. But I also have Norway moving on. I have Norway moving on by 3-1. I think Haaland will get 2. And I think they'll just dominate the game, in my opinion, from start to finish in a 7 out of 10 way. A lot of numbers there, but yeah. I see Norway getting the job done. And then Brazil-Norway, that's an interesting game, man. That's an interesting game. And I think the player to watch for this game is Nicolas Pepe for Ivory Coast. And for Norway, it's going to be Antonio Nusa. That boy dribbling, honestly, Vinicius today was unreal. Antonio Nusa, wow. He can,
Yeah,
that boy can dribble. I know people are going for Jan Diamande. It's the battle of the Leipzig wingers. But yeah, we will see what happens. But those are the games. Those are scorelines. Those are the reviews. Those are the previews. And that's all that we have for today. We'll be back on tomorrow straight after the Ivory Coast versus Norway game. So make sure you're following, make sure you subscribe, all that sort of stuff. We'll be on straight after that. Maybe I'll do a watch long for the last 20 minutes of the Ivory Coast game, so you can join us for that. But yeah, boys, do you have anything that you want to say before we close out here on any of the games?
Yeah, I just wanted to say the celebration looks pointless, man. I hate when footballers just be doing stuff for the sake of doing stuff.
Nah,
what does that
man,
even
you're
mean?
just a hater, bro. You're just
What
a
does that even
hater,
mean?
man.
Let me
It's
just
cold.
headbutt my head and then just do this.
Bro, it's cold. It's cold. It's cold. It's like...
It looks fine when he does it, but it just makes no sense. Like just a bunch of actions for no reason.
This guy.
He just doesn't see it, does he? He doesn't see it, bro. Art is subjective, isn't it? I think your coach like doesn't see it, bro. Or you're not.
He hasn't seen those edits where
look worse.
when she's what does it call? Where she's a 10 out of 10, but she supports Liverpool. Like, bro, those type of edits go cold.
And then he does this, and
then he's like, nah, leave it, bro. Allow it.
That's true, bro. If she's an Arsenal fan, she's a Liverpool fan, bro, get rid of her. Honestly,
Now
not
we
worth your
have
time.
to. Even
man.
if she's a City fan, bro.
Low-key, actually, though. Actually, no, I'll save that for after the show. But low-key, Arsenal fan. Heck. Some Arsenal fan. Heck. Oh, different gravy. But yeah, anyway. Thank you, boys and girls, for watching. As I said, if you're new here, make sure to follow all the guys as well. And we'll be back on tomorrow after the Norway versus Ivory Coast game, after a potential African double of Moroccan going through and Ivory Coast going through. Let's see if that happens. Probably won't, but we will be there, guys. We will be there. Good evening and good night. That's when I notice people are wild.